The silver spoon slipped from my fingers, clattering against fine china as my sister's words hit me like physical blows. Honestly, it's perfect timing you couldn't make the wedding, Vicky said, wine glass swirling casually in her manicured hand. That way I don't have to worry about you outshining me in front of Ryan's family. My mother nodded, patting Vicky's arm. Teresa's always been the attention grabber. It's your day to shine, sweetheart. They froze when they noticed me in the dining room doorway. The invitation in my hand, showing tomorrow's date, felt suddenly heavy. The elaborate script that had filled me with excitement moments before now mocked me with every elegant swirl. Teresa. Mom's wine sloshed as she jerked upright. We thought you were in the bathroom. The conversation replayed in my mind, each word sharper on the second pass. They hadn't made a mistake with the date. They had deliberately sent me the wrong one to keep me away. I'm Teresa, a 32-year-old tech project manager in San Diego. This is the story of how I reclaimed my life after my family tried to erase me. The wedding was last weekend, my mother finally said, her voice soft but missing any hint of remorse. We must have sent you the wrong invitation. I remained perfectly still, suddenly hyper-aware of the family photos lining the walls of their San Diego home, photos where I stood slightly apart, always the outsider despite funding the frames that held them. You're lying. My voice was surprisingly steady. You deliberately excluded me. Vicky set down her glass, her smile vanishing. Look, it's not personal. You always have to be the successful one, the accomplished one. For once, I wanted the spotlight. Not personal? The words scraped my throat. I gave you $10,000 when your business was failing. I paid $30,000 to fix this house. My father entered from the kitchen, his expression immediately guarded when he saw my face. He knew. They all knew. Now Teresa, he started, the same placating tone he used when asking for money. Stop. I raised my hand. I've been your safety net for years. I've covered your debts, your repairs, your vacations. And this is how you repay me. My mother stepped forward, reaching for my arm. You're overreacting. It's just a wedding. Just a wedding. Just the culmination of years of being used, excluded, and dismissed by the very people I'd sacrificed for. This isn't about a wedding, I said, my voice deadly quiet. This is about you seeing me as nothing but a bank account. I left without another word, the sound of their excuses fading behind me as I drove back to my downtown apartment 20 minutes away. That night, my cousin Claudia called. Her voice was hesitant, unusual for the normally confident journalist. Teresa, I need to tell you something, she said. Vicky didn't just exclude you from the wedding. She's been using your beach house in La Jolla to impress clients, telling everyone it's hers. And your parents have been renting it out for extra income. How do you know this? I asked, stunned by this new betrayal. I overheard Vicky bragging to a friend at the wedding reception, Claudia explained. Then I started asking around. Several of your parents' friends mentioned renting the lovely vacation property from them. My beach house. The property I'd purchased 5 years ago when my parents faced financial ruin. The home I let them live in rent-free out of family loyalty. They'd been profiting off my generosity while systematically pushing me from their lives. How long? I asked, gripping the phone. Years, Claudia said. I thought you knew. Teresa, they've been taking advantage of you for so long I didn't know how to tell you. Each revelation was like uncovering another layer of betrayal. The emergency fund I'd established for my sister that she drained without acknowledgement. The joint account with my parents that somehow always ended up empty. The vacations they took while claiming they couldn't afford basic necessities. I'm done, I said, more to myself than to Claudia. What are you going to do? She asked. For the first time in years, perfect clarity settled over me. I'm going to take back my life. The next morning, I drove to the offices of Linda Morse, the most ruthless attorney in San Diego. Her reputation for protecting clients from familial financial exploitation had earned her the nickname the Firewall. I needed exactly that, an impenetrable barrier between myself and the family that had bled me dry. Linda's office was minimalist, her expression equally unadorned as I laid out my situation. She didn't offer sympathy, she offered solutions. You own the La Jolla property outright? She asked, scanning the deed I'd brought. Yes. I bought it to save them from bankruptcy 5 years ago. They've been living there rent-free. She nodded, making notes. And they've been renting it out without your knowledge or consent. Apparently so. That's fraud, Linda said simply. What about other financial entanglements? I outlined everything: the joint account, the loans in my name, the credit cards I'd guaranteed. With each item, Linda's expression hardened. "They've been using you as their personal ATM," she said finally. "We are going to shut that down immediately." Over the next 2 hours, we crafted a comprehensive plan. Linda would secure the property, close joint accounts, and transfer outstanding loans into my parents' names. No more safety net. No more exploitation. "Be prepared," Linda warned as I left. "They won't take this quietly." She was right. The text started that afternoon. "Vicky, Teresa, what's going on?" The bank called about the loan. "Mom, we need to talk. This is family." "Dad, you're making a mistake." I ignored them all. For years, they'd ignored my needs, my contributions, my very existence except when they needed something. Now they would experience the same treatment. Within days, Linda had executed our plan with surgical precision. The property was secured. The accounts were closed. The financial ties were severed. My family would have to stand on their own for once. Claudia called with updates, her journalists' network keeping her informed. "Vicky lost a major client when she couldn't host at her beach house. Your parents are panicking about the loan payments." I felt no satisfaction, only a dull ache where familial love should have been. But I wouldn't go back. Not this time. 3 weeks later, they showed up at my office. My administrative assistant had called ahead to warn me that my family was insisting on seeing me despite not having an appointment. My mother's eyes were red, my father looked haggard, and Vicky was noticeably absent. Claudia stood with them, her expression apologetic. "They called me this morning, begging me to bring them to your workplace," she explained quietly. "They said they wanted to apologize." "Teresa, please," my mother started. "We are sorry. We didn't realize how much we were hurting you." "We need the house," my father added. "We have nowhere else to go." I almost laughed. Even their apology was really just another request. "No," I said simply. "We are family," my mother insisted, her voice rising. "You can't just cut us off." I pulled out my phone and opened a video Vicky had accidentally sent me months ago, her wedding toast where she openly mocked my absence. "Thank God Teresa couldn't make it," she laughed to the guests. "For once I don't have to compete with my perfect sister." I played it for Claudia, whose face registered shock, then anger. She turned to my parents. "You let her say that? After everything Teresa has done for you." My father looked away. My mother started to cry. "This isn't about money," I said, surprised by how calm I felt. "This is about respect. You've never seen me as anything but a resource. That ends now. What do you want from us?" My father asked desperately. "Nothing," I said. "That's the point. I want nothing from you, and you'll get nothing from me. We're done." I signaled to security, who escorted them out. As they left, my mother turned back, her face twisted with anger and fear. "You'll regret this," she said. "Everyone will know what you've done." "Everyone already knows what you've done," I replied. "That's the problem." The months that followed weren't easy. True to their word, my family spread stories about me, how I'd abandoned them, how I'd stolen their home, how I'd chosen money over family. Some people believed them. But others, those who had watched me support my family for years without recognition, saw through the lies. My reputation, built on years of integrity and hard work, remained intact. My career continued to flourish. I was promoted, my confidence growing with each decision I made for myself rather than for those who took advantage. The La Jolla house, once a symbol of my exploitation, became my weekend retreat. I'd sit on the deck, watching the ocean, and feel the weight of years lifting from my shoulders. I was no longer responsible for keeping others afloat. I could finally swim freely myself. 6 months after our confrontation, an invitation arrived in my mail, my parents' anniversary celebration. The formal card, with its embossed lettering and gold trim, was eerily similar to the wedding invitation that had started it all. I sent a small gift but didn't attend. The door to that part of my life was closed, not out of bitterness but out of self-preservation. Claudia kept me informed about their situation. Vicky and her husband Ryan had downsized to a small apartment after her design business faltered. My parents had moved into a modest rental home, struggling to maintain appearances without my financial support. The community they'd cultivated began to see through the facade. "They made their choices," Claudia said during our weekly lunch. "You made yours." "I wish it had been different," I admitted. "I wanted a family who valued me, not what I could give them." "You have that," she replied, gesturing between us. "Family isn't always blood." She was right. The bonds I'd formed with Claudia, with Linda, with colleagues who respected me, these were stronger than the ties that had bound me to those who saw me as nothing but a resource. Standing on my deck that evening, watching the sunset paint the ocean gold, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't experienced in years. The pain hadn't disappeared entirely, perhaps it never would, but it no longer defined me. I had reclaimed my life, my worth, my future. This journey taught me that your value isn't measured by what others take from you, but by what you create for yourself. I let my family define me for too long, using me when convenient and dismissing me when not. Their betrayal revealed their true nature, but it also revealed my strength. If you're being used by those who should cherish you, know this: standing firm isn't selfish. Reclaiming your life isn't wrong. And sometimes, the family you choose is more precious than the family you're born into. I learned this lesson the hard way, but it changed everything. And for that, despite the pain, I am grateful.